Okay. We're going to study here. It is the Certified Professional in Supplier Diversity. Got 39 different modules. This is the first one. And this is from the 2022 version. So we'll run through some slides and then we'll do some questions on each module. Let's get started. So the first one is to integrate supplier diversity into an organization's mission, vision, and commitment statements or the overall business strategy. That's the task. Supplier diversity introduction. The history of supplier diversity in the United States is firmly rooted in the civil rights movements of the 50s and the 60s. And recent racial injustices and unrest have pushed concerns of minority inequality at the forefront. Society's consciousness, although with recent events this year, not so much anymore. Corporations are being called to examine themselves to include executives and suppliers that represent the company's entire customer base, including minority customers. Creating a supplier diversity program is a central part of a company's effort to address social concerns and maintain high moral and ethical standards. And supplier diversity supports an organization by impacting the bottom line in three key areas: societal and economic effects, consumer perception, and sourcing strategy. And supplier diversity delivers societal benefits by generating economic opportunity for disadvantaged communities. The United States is seeing a shift in population demographics and anticipates the minority population will account for as much as 70% of the total increase in purchasing power from 2020 to 2045. Using supplier diversity as a sourcing strategy widens the pool of potential suppliers and encourages competition, which improves quality and reduces cost. Always a good thing for competition. Responsibility of the supply management professional. So understand the organization's vision and mission statements, gain executive buy-in for the program, deliver short and long-term range plans for the diversity program, and holding the organization accountable, leading public relations efforts, and communicating the return on investment. So this is an article by ISM, I think, on distributing opportunity, basically supplier diversity programs. Yeah. Recognition of unconscious bias. So a few pages. The 4 C's talks about some of the diversity issues. And the ROI, work in progress, It's an interesting article. Give it a read. Vision and mission statements. All functional vision and mission statements need to support the organization. Supply management executives should participate in forming the organization's mission and vision statements and provide a clear and effective guide for making decisions and moving towards the desired future state. That's what a vision mission statement does for you. And the mission and vision statements are one of the drivers of commitment to employee and supplier diversity. Supply management mission needs to move beyond simply a response mission. It must be a proactive mission statement. So the primary mission of supply management is identification, acquisition, access, positioning, and management of resources, related capabilities to the organizational needs in the attainment of its strategic objectives. That's a whole mouthful there. Diverse suppliers assist organizations in this area and should therefore be included in the overall supply management mission statement. Executive buy-in. Executive level support for supplier diversity is critical for the success of the program. Unless the executives are behind it, it's probably not going to happen. Aligning the supplier diversity program to our organization's overall business strategy is essential. That's how you get the executives interested. And the supply management professional is responsible for communicating the value of supplier diversity to stakeholders, including the executive leadership. So the National Minority Supplier Development Council, otherwise known as the NMSDC, identifies 8 best practices in developing a supplier diversity program. First is establish organizational policy and top management support. You're not going anywhere without it. Develop a plan, establish comprehensive internal and external communications, identify opportunities in strategic sourcing and supply chain management, establish a comprehensive supplier development process, establish tracking, reporting, and goal-setting mechanisms, establish a continuous improvement plan, and establish a second-tier supplier program. Short and long-range plans. So strategic plan is the process of developing plans to achieve the organization's mission. That's like 5 years and longer. The planning process decides how to allocate the organization's resources, and the plan must be dynamic and not static in order to maintain a degree of flexibility. Planning timeframes. So short-range plans generally involve timeframes of 1 to 5 years. So tactical plans are less than a year. Operational plans are usually 1 to 5 years. And a long-range plan is usually 5 to 10 years, also known as a strategic plan. Long range or otherwise look at 5-year or longer time periods. The current state can be mapped by identifying the following: goals and objectives, key stakeholders, customer contractual requirements, reporting, system use, risk to noncompliance, internal and external awareness, and gaps. Organizational accountability. Accountability is critical to ensuring that the supply management professionals deliver on their commitment to a supplier diversity. And supply management professionals should drive organization accountability by doing the following: setting supplier diversity goals for the organization, communicating the goals with clearly identified roles and responsibilities, measuring the quality, delivery, administration, and overall value performance of the diverse suppliers, communicating progress to meeting goals to executive leadership, identifying gaps, making recommendations to close those gaps and improve the program. Public relations skills and policy. So have a plan. Supplier diversity communication and public relations will heighten awareness of the supplier diversity program and drive accountability. The key component of public relations plan includes internal communications, external communications, supplier diversity database, and various methods of raising awareness. We'll cover all this stuff in later modules. Internal communications should include things like a business case for the diversity initiatives, updates on performance goals, recognition for program advocates, and messaging highlighting diverse suppliers. External communication should focus on creating a strong positive image of the organization, promoting capabilities of diverse suppliers, demonstrating how diverse suppliers can help the organization. And then you need a database of diverse suppliers, encompasses identifying and developing. And then the key to the program is a return on investment, or an ROI. Supplier diversity programs should be assessed based on the return on investment to the organization. And a study by the Hackett Group shows that the organization that focuses heavily on supplier diversity generates a 133% greater return on procurement investments than the typical business. Consistent diverse supplier messaging. That's in the center. Need things like community outreach, videotapes, audio CDs, staff meetings, newsletters, websites. Those two are kind of one now. Other company communications, top management policy letter. Communication techniques, presenting a consistent message to employees includes things like policy letter from top management, Leverage existing communication vehicles such as periodic electronic newsletters, emails, websites, blogs, etc. Establish new vehicles such as formal diverse supplier learning center, utilizing books, videos, audio tapes, devising a program dedicated website with necessary information, and forming a steering committee. Coaching takes training to the next level. Coaching is about leading, helping people improve their performance. And available resources, several opportunities to contact diverse businesses, trade associations, network development organizations, attend minority and small business conferences, matchmaking or networking events, organization-specific procurement events, employ the SAM, which is a government database we'll study later, and utilize newspapers and magazine ads to attract new small business firms. Hosting trade shows and conferences. When you host your own shows, events, you have control over who attends them, and invite suppliers with capabilities to match your needs. All right, so in each of these modules, we have a couple of questions that we'll do as a group, and then some other questions that we'll do individually. So group questions are: organizational accountability is paramount to the success of a diversity program. For the program to be successful, leadership commitment is required. Which of the following is not an example of leadership commitment? So this is this negative type of question. ISM doesn't use them as much anymore, but you may see them. So looking for not an example. Supplier diversity policy has been put into place. That is an example. An audit of the supplier diversity numbers is performed. Nope. CEO of the organization signs the diversity goals and corresponding metrics. That doesn't look like it. There's a requirement that diversity metrics be included in every request for proposal. So which one is not an example of a leadership commitment? So CEO, that's a leadership commitment. That's a policy, that's a leadership commitment. You should throw those two out. And an audit of the numbers. Or requirement metrics. Probably this would be my guess, because auditing is post, and it's not really a leadership commitment. Let's see what they say. A, supplier diversity policy is put in place. Putting a supplier diversity policy in place alone does not show commitment. Geez, fine. Only a foundational aspect for the company. Okay. Let's see what the second one is. Tim Culver works as a supply management professional for Hanfield Plastics. He understands the importance of organizational accountability and diversity. His supervisor wants to know if diverse suppliers are worth the effort. How can Tim show him some results? He has increased number of diverse suppliers in his database. Not really. He can determine an increase in net purchases from diverse suppliers. He has an increased number of certified diverse suppliers. That's just numbers. You can tell how existing diverse suppliers are performing in comparison to non-diverse suppliers. That's the money answer there. Better be D. Come on. There we go. It is. All right. That too bugging me. So this is something new that they're doing with the ISM is doing with their modules. Here's some things at the end for the summary that they're emphasizing. Supplier diversity supports an organization by impacting the bottom line in three key areas: societal and economic effects, consumer perception, and sourcing strategy. And the National Minority Supplier Development Council, NMS CPSDC identifies 8 best practices in developing a program. And supply management professionals should drive organizational accountability by taking specific actions that we covered in there. Organizations that focus heavily on supplier diversity generate a 133% greater return on procurement investments than a typical business. So those are the 4. And then these are some references. And now what I want to do is find the practice questions, which are going to be here. SDA-1 questions. And these we do individually. So there's 8 of them. So we'll go ahead and just get on them. And we'll go over the answers. Okay, let's go get some answers. And we want the answers to the practice questions. The recall questions are the one we do as a group. All right, number one is Charlie. Supply management professionals should be held accountable for meeting their organization's diversity goals since they have ongoing opportunities to affect sourcing and thus spend. Two is Alpha. Because the business plan will detail out how procurement will contribute to the corporate goals and provide a roadmap to the endpoint. Three is Bravo. Because the department's mission statement must support the department's vision. As no departmental vision was provided, it should be assumed the departmental mission statement must support the company's vision. Four is Delta. The problem the CEO is having is that the departments are writing their mission statements in a vacuum instead of coordinating and aligning their mission statements with the other departments or horizontally. Marketing's mission to increase sales may support AFAB's corporate mission, but unless finance can come up with the budget to support that expanded sales, the mission will fail. Five is Charlie. Because the supply management executives suspect there are some shortfalls in the department's capabilities in order to execute the approved department mission successfully. Supply management should study both the capabilities necessary to achieve the mission and the current capabilities of the department. Then conduct a gap analysis to determine the priorities. Six is Alpha. Company wants to be top quality and best service. This means that continuity of supply with components that are high quality is what the supply management should be striving for. Reason for continuity of supply is to provide the bicycles in addition to the spare parts on time to their customers. Seven is Delta. Because of listing the organization's vision and mission and its stated goals is what constitutes the business overview section of a business plan. And eight is Alpha. Although cost reduction is a worthy goal in and of itself, it makes it difficult to help tie supplier diversity into the mission. Global citizenship, long-term horizon, and customer responsiveness. And those are your answers to your 8 questions. So tomorrow we will work on A-2. Thanks.